Good deal. Thank y'all for being here today. Before we start football talk, I want to wish our women's basketball team good luck in the home opener today, and then also our men up at in Pittsburgh. Also want to recognize Veterans Day and just say thank you. Thank you for all those who have served and or currently serving in the armed forces. And we'll talk to our team about what Veterans Day is, and freedom does not need to be taken lightly. And appreciate those people who allow us to do what we do. You all in the media, and us coaching football, and our student athletes being allowed to go to school and all those things. So we're very appreciative of that, and something we'll definitely discuss with our players later on today. Last Saturday was a good win for us. On the road versus a really good Georgia Southern football team. Proud of our players, proud of our staff. Probably the best overall game we've played, most complete game, I should say, that we've played all year. Quick recap, talk about each phase like we normally do. Special teams leading off. The negatives are we missed 2 field goals. We had a penalty on punt return that kind of set us back on the drive. And then we've got to get better at kickoff return. We're just not good enough in that area right now. And it's unfortunate because we've got some guys we think are pretty good returners, when Marcus gets back and then with Jabir. But we haven't blocked as well as we need to, and we've got to get that better. The positives are we averaged 57 yards per punt, and that's special by Tyler Sumter, recognized for the second consecutive week as the Sun Belt Player of the Week, and proud of him. Appreciate the league recognizing him. 0 punt return yards. I think you'll have to go back and check me. I think in all of our wins, with the exception of one, I think that's what we've had. And so Brandon Hall coordinates our punt team, and he's done a great job with that unit. Kickoff, we were improved. Bratcher kicked the ball better. We had a number of touchbacks or fair catches. Our coverage was better. And also I thought our punt block team, we tipped a punt. I thought we affected some other ones. That was a positive in the game. Defensively, 2 weeks in a row now we've played at a high level defensively. Gave up a couple explosive plays on wheel routes. Didn't create any takeaways. Those were the negatives. The rest were positives. We stopped the run game versus a team that's what they want to do. I think they had 101 yards rushing, 3.0 yards per carry. We got off the field on third downs. I really thought our defensive line controlled the game. Thought we played extremely well. Best we've played up front in a game so far this year. Offensively, the negatives, we had a fumble that led to their second touchdown, and we had too many negative yardage plays in the run game, and those are going to come back to haunt us if we don't get those fixed. Positives, we had one penalty. I thought our tempo was probably as good as it's been all year. We controlled the clock. We had a number of explosive plays. We had several guys step up. And I thought that was one of our better offensive games from the start to the finish. Players of the week, talked about Tyler Sumter being the Special Teams Player of the Week of the conference, well-deserved. I'm going to go through our in-house awards. Our Defense Player of the Week is the exact same guy that also the Sun Belt recognized as Defense Player of the Week, and that's Antoine Barker. And this is the second consecutive week that we've named him our Defense Player of the Week. And, I thought he was dominant at times. That's the best game he's played. This is the best 2 weeks in a row he's played. Proud of him. He's come a long way. He had 2 sacks, three tackles for loss, and just played with great energy. I mean, he was all over the field, flew around. Offensive lineman of the week is Tristan Crowder, who bounced back from really a subpar performance versus Lafayette. Graded out the highest, best game since really early in the season. Thought he was powerful. Most of our positive run plays came behind him and J.L. Gaston. Our offensive player of the week, we had a couple people that could have easily won this. As a staff, we chose Sidney Davis. Sidney Davis had 10 receptions, 85 yards. Also had 2 completions. Threw a completion on a 2-point play. Also threw a completion on a 4th and 1 play. I thought he played extremely well. Special Teams Player of the Week. Realized that Tyler won the Sun Belt, but we chose Kevin Nixon, and he's not going to show up in the stat sheet as much, but he tipped the punt. The opening punt of the game for Georgia Southern, which was a huge play. He's been great on our punt coverage all year, and he did a really good job on the kickoff return. Well, it was one of the few bright spots in that area. So Kevin Nixon earned his Special Teams Player of the Week. Our scout team players of the week offensively, and this is fitting on Veterans Day because he's a member of the ROTC here on campus, and that's Chris Robinson from Linden, Alabama. He was one of two guys that played quarterback, and he was a quarterback at Linden, and he gave our defense a look at the triple option all week. And like I said, very fitting. A kid that has a lot on his plate. Being here and being an active member of the ROTC and participating on the football team, he doesn't have a whole lot of free time, and a great kid, and he did a great job for us last week. Our defensive player of the week is the defensive tackle, John Adams, and he's from Parkview High School in the Atlanta area, and he's done a really good job. I thought he gave us a good look at that. They play a head-up nose, Georgia Southern did. He's built very similar to the guys that they have, and he really prepared Crumity to come and have one of his better games of the season as well. And our special teams scout team player of the week is from Eufaula, Keenan Jernigan, who's an effort guy, does a great job. Corey McCullough Spirit Award, he didn't get it last week, but he came back with vengeance on the sideline. That's Hamilton Hawthorne, continues, great attitude, great energy. And then our Nathan Harris Service Award goes to Tyler Sumter. And so he's not only doing the job on the field, he does a great job in school, but also in the community as well. And he's a early education major, wants to be an elementary school teacher, and he's done a really good job getting into schools in Troy and Pike County. So appreciative to him. Wrapping up, that win gets us to 8-2, and it gets us to 6-0 in the league. And what it does, it makes each game after this even bigger. So we have Texas State rolling here this week, and as I turn the page to them, we come back home, play a much improved Texas State team. Last home game that's on the schedule. Hopefully, if we can finish this, we'll have another one here. But it's our last home game on the schedule, and we're going to honor a group of 14 seniors that have had a tremendous impact not only on this football program, but on this university as well. Quick overview of Texas State. I think the strength of their football team is on special teams. They're top 20 in block punts. They're 33rd in the country in punt returns, 39th in kickoff return, 15th in kickoff. So I think one of the more complete special teams units that we've played all year. They do a great job coaching that group. Been impressed watching them on film. Defensively, much improved from a year ago. They play really, really hard, and I think they've played some of the better offenses in our league. I think they've done a good job versus those guys. A couple guys that stick out to me is the nose tackle, number 91, really a big force inside, hard to move. He's just a big kid. Number 9, London, the linebacker, seems like he's been there forever. He's been the leading tackler for them, and I think for the last 3 years he's really active. He leads the team again. And then I think number 18, their will linebacker, Griffin, is kind of the catalyst for them. He creates a lot of negative plays. He's their best pass rusher. Really good football player. Offensively, multiple looks, a lot of different formations, a lot of different motions. Going to be a challenge for us defensively. The quarterback, they play 2 of them. Number 8 is really fast, explosive runner, probably the fastest quarterback that we've played against this year. Number 11, Vitt, is done a really good job for them as well. They have, I think, the best tight end in the league, and a kid named Brown, number 6, very good. They get him the ball a bunch of different ways. So it's going to be a really good challenge for us. And I've talked about this in previous press conferences. We're in survive and advance mode. You know, we got to get to this one to set up the final one, and this is critical. And we've got to continue to play at a high level. Our margin for error is not real big, so we've got to continue to prepare and play. And again, I've said this for 2 weeks in a row. We've got to prove whether we're a contender or a pretender. And this is the 3rd round in this heavyweight fight that we've been fighting in the month of November. And I hope our community. I hope the Troy, Pike County community, I hope our fans, hope our students show up and support this football team. You know, we're in an era here where we're getting real close to having the most wins over a 3-year period in school history. I think we've won over 80% of our games over the last 3 years, and this is a team that's played hard, overcome a lot of injuries. And I really hope that the community, the students, our fans really show up and support this, especially those 14 seniors in our last scheduled home game of the year. And with that, I'll open up for questions.
How surprised were you when Willis was limited? You could kind of tell it. Luke Whittemore was the one who stepped up at wide receiver.
Yeah, Damian Willis limited. didn't practice last week, and so he didn't play. Damian didn't play poorly, but it wasn't one of his better football games. But Luke was a guy. He was our. If you go back, we give awards in spring and fall camp. He was our most outstanding offensive player in spring practice. So again, was one of the guys that we consistently recognize as being a top performer in fall camp. And he done a good job on special teams. He just hadn't shown up a whole lot on offense. And he's a redshirt freshman. And we're getting to the point now where we're getting thin at wideout. We needed guys to step up. And he did, and he came up in a big way, not only on his 3 catches, but he also had the trick play pass where he had to scramble, make a really good football play. So, surprised, Barry, probably not, that wasn't the word I used. We were in need of him, and he hadn't done that to this point. I think he's fully capable, and I hope he uses that as a catalyst for the rest of the season.
Whittemore was a catalyst in the turnaround. Talk to your team's response when it's 14-3, all the momentum's on the other side, and your guys are able to get it turned around.
Yeah, I just think that we're not a very old football team, I guess, in the sense of age, but we got a lot of experience. A lot of guys have played big football games, multiple big football games, and I just didn't think they didn't blink. Get down 14-3, had the biggest drive that we've had so far this season. It took forever. It's like 14 plays, and we had multiple third down, a fourth down conversion. So they made us work for it. But I thought that drive kind of ignited both sides, and we got a 3-and-out the very next series, and then we come down to score again to retake the lead. So I think it speaks to the resilience. I think it speaks to the belief, the confidence our guys have. Regardless of any time of the game, there's a strong belief there, not only in themselves but each other, the systems we have in place.
Past couple games, you've been a little inconsistent in the second half. This one, you were more consistent throughout the entire game. Scored 18 points in the second half. Mm-hmm. Was it a different energy this week than the past couple weeks?
It's just really those 2 second halves, the last couple of weeks, been kind of much ado about nothing. We've been up big, I think 17 and 20 points, and we don't have very many bodies on offense. So it's more about we feel like we're in control. Let's not put ourselves in bad situations. This week it was different. It's a 3-point game at half. We felt like we needed to stay in attack mode, and we did that. And we played better too. I mean, we played better. Georgia Southern's really good on their defensive front, and they got after us at times. They really did. But we stayed in attack mode, and our guys continued to make plays. I think Sawyer played better in the second half, maybe than he has as well.
You guys surprised with how much they threw the ball early in the game, and kind of what adjustments did you make to kind of counteract that?
In the previous games, Justin, they had come out and thrown the ball. They made a point to really throw the ball in the opening series at least once. So that didn't really catch us by surprise. But what happened is they got behind the chains and had to throw the ball more, and then when they got behind in the game, they had to throw the ball more. I think that our defense staff had a really good plan. I thought our defensive line controlled where it made it really difficult for them to run in the inside, and we were trying to make it a game where somebody besides Shy Wirtz had to beat us. And I thought that played into our hands, and because Wirtz is a really good player, and I thought he threw the ball well. We needed to do a better job covering the wheel routes, but we got that fixed, and we're able to control the game after getting ahead.
Coach, BJ saw his 100-yard streak snapped at 5 games, but still productive, 86 yards, 2 scores. It seems like he's starting to catch fire really at the right time with just a couple games left. How important is it to have him healthy down the stretch? It
is, and he hasn't been healthy. And really, I think I said this after the game, is he's been very, very limited in practice over the last 2 weeks. And what it is just a lot of mileage. Now, I do think that's going to pay off because he'll be back at full strength this week. He's on practice all week. And I think you'll see him play better in this game. We didn't block the run game as clean. He probably didn't play as well in the game in the first half. I thought in the second half he really had some quality runs and was physical. But the lack of practice reps, I think, came back to haunt him in the first half there. And like I said, they've got 3 D linemen that are really good players, and they did a good job. They They got off the ball. They caused some chaos. They caused some negative runs, and that's something we've got to get cleaned up. We need to, moving forward, we've got to play better at running back, offensive line, at our tight end, fullback positions for us to continue to have success.
How did you come out of the game health-wise, and what can we see some guys that haven't been around? Are they ready to come back?
Yeah, I think that we came out okay. We hope that Marcus Jones will practice some this week. I think he'll be really questionable for the game, but I do think he's going to practice some. I think DeAndre Douglas would move into that probable mode. He's going to practice Tuesday or tomorrow. That'll be the first time that he's really practiced in 3 weeks, really since the Tuesday of South game. So we're hopeful that he's going to play. And so Rooker played in the game, came out feeling good. So I think he'll continue to play, and we got to be smart how we use him in practice.
Not saying the team will, but how do you get them ready for this game and not treat it maybe as a trap game with the game against App State looming next week?
Well, I just think we got to be mature about it, and I think you're honest with them too. Is like we're not at a point where we can take anybody for granted. We lost to a Liberty team that probably shouldn't have. They beat us, and so we have pretty recent history of when we don't play well or we don't prepare well, then it shows. And I think our margin for error. Y'all have heard me say this for multiple weeks now. I don't think our margin for error is. I think it's real small. And so, and another thing too, I think it's really critical for us. And I think this is what made our team last year is through the month of November into early December, we continue to get better. We played our best game against New Orleans. In New Orleans versus North Texas last year. We played our best game in Game 10 versus Georgia Southern this year, and I still think there's room for improvement. So we're going to continue to practice at a high level, and Texas State's next, and our guys. College football is totally different than college basketball or baseball. If you play one game a week, you know what I mean? They got 12 a year. That's what they put on the schedule. So you ought to be able to get up for every game. And so that's our job to make sure we're doing that. I think it helps that it's senior day. And here's the thing, too, is Texas State's played everybody. They played them well. The game got away from them a little bit at App. They threw an interception right before halftime. And until then, it was 14-0. And they've been competitive every game, and they're plenty capable of coming here and knocking us off. And we've got a lot of respect for them, so our guys better get ready.